Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. One thing I am pleased about this year is that I finally have a job where I can be myself. So as you guys know, next week I'm planning to see a solar eclipse, and I didn't get flack for trying to schedule that with my work. And I was just thinking about a joke that had happened 2 years ago when I was at a not so understanding workplace. I had been talking to my boss, and I made the mistake that I tried to be as friendly as possible to all my colleagues, and sometimes I got a little bit too casual. I didn't put things in writing and all that. I'll get to that in a second. I had a couple of colleagues who took off for to take their kids to Disneyland and all that. One colleague took off to spend time with her parents, right? She was a little bit younger than me. And my boss seemed to understand that a little bit more than my wanting to go see a lunar eclipse. Now, I had talked to the boss about the lunar eclipse. I was kind of, in retrospect, I probably didn't put enough force with the discussion. The lunar eclipse happens overnight, obviously. I was only hoping to start later the next day, and I even told him, let me know how it goes and all that. And, just trying to be on friendly terms. Unfortunately, he didn't take it seriously. Meanwhile, everybody was taking time off left and right? And anyways, as the date got closer to the lunar eclipse, he told me he couldn't give me the day off because of various things. And I told you about this 4 weeks ago, and he pretended that I didn't tell him about that. So I was upset. So as revenge, I went to see the lunar eclipse anyway, and I showed up half asleep in the classroom. And after that upsetting situation, I went on to his calendar on Google, and I marked every eclipse for the next 100 years. And I concluded it with, so in 2084, the Earth comes into, the Earth transits the Sun from the point of view of Mars. And so I marked out that 6 months before that event was going to be my retirement day, because I'm going to fly to Mars, and it will be a one-way trip, basically. I probably would do that, depending on what life expectancy looks like by the time we get around there and how healthy I am. 2084, I might take a one-way trip to Mars and end my life there after viewing the transit of Earth across the Sun. So I marked that on the calendar, and my boss was so upset about that. And then he claimed, he really did forget and all that. He tried to make up for what he had said and all that. But I learned that it's kind of unfortunate that I have to put things in writing. So here at the college, I learned that to talk to the boss and follow up with writing. Now, it's not tricky to follow up with writing. The problem is that I really despise that I have this adversarial relationship at work, right? I don't want to come here and feel like I'm buying a car or negotiating some kind of a business deal. I hate that. I really do, right? I didn't see, I don't know if my colleagues did that, but they back at the tutoring center, because all my colleagues were doing things that were more relatable, there seemed to be less of that push and pull mentality, right? Anyways, it's just one of those, it's one of those reasons why I want to leave the United States ASAP. I cannot imagine this kind of dynamic playing out in Eastern Europe or in Taiwan or even in Canada, right?